今回、ワガーデン・オブ・バンバンのファンメイドキャラクターの動画を見ていきます。よかったらチャンネル登録高評価お願いします。
それじゃあ見ていきましょう。なんでバンバン逃げてるの？このキャラクターは確かサイレントスティーブだったかな。ざまあこれはサイレントスティーブ怒ってんな。っていうか絶対またバンバンだなんかしたんでしょ。聞いてなくて草。いやまた怒った。いや怒ってなかった。それは痛いて。テカバンバリーなひどくね。いや銃消えろ。いやじゃこうかやん。
But I was wondering, why is she so upset with you?
Alright, I guess it's about time I tell you the whole story. Back then, there was this kid who suffered bullying from the worst kids in the class. Whenever he tried hiding from them, they would always find him. Even the professor would always misunderstand the situation. He always thought Player wasted his time, but it wasn't true at all. Poor Player, he was really unlucky.And all the teachers in his class would never side with him. No matter what he tried to do, he would always make himself the laughingstock. The bullies really enjoyed his suffering, even though they weren't very bright. But that's a story for another day. They were always messing with him, and he always had to tolerate with that bad behavior. Always trying to hold it in, always trying to forget.But sometimes he got really upset. He would stand up and scream at the top of his lungs. But when this happened, the professor would always call his attention and put him on detention. Even though Player always tried to defend himself, the professor never wanted to understand. He thought those kids were angels, but that was far from the truth. And nobody but Player really saw their true colors.This would always put Player in a tough spot. The teacher sent him home with a warning for his parents. And again, the bullies had their laugh. He couldn't really do anything, just be sad and try to explain to his parents. But his mother would always scream about his egg. She didn't really know how to punish Player, so she took his egg and threw it in the trash. He was really sad. The only thing he cared about was dead.It was the saddest day in his life. But suddenly, a little snake came over the trash. It seemed lost, like it was looking for its parents. When it came around Player, he was really amazed. The little snake had remembered that Player took care of him when he was just an egg. Both of them were really happy. Those days really felt like the best. In fact,That was Player's favorite day ever. They would always enjoy playing and eating together. But of course, the little snake started to grow, and so did its strength. Player needed to become stronger than before, so he could play with the little snake. And the snake would always grow and grow until it became a big one. A really big one, in fact.He needed to continue going to school, but, well, things hadn't changed at all. The bullies were still there. And of course, it was Player's role to suffer all the pain. But not this time. The little big snake came for Player's rescue. The bullies got really scared when they saw the big snake. Quickly, the tables turned, and the bullies knew they wouldn't get away with it.Not this time around. The big snake gave them what they deserved, and more, I guess, more than it should have. And that's when I come into the story. I saw the whole thing. I noticed the bullies were still trying to get Player, but from that point forwards, the little snake was always watching them, really close.The bullies understood and suddenly changed their intentions. They were a little confused, but the snake was good with them. As long as
いやしっぽでどうやって
cooperated,
グ
of
ッと出し
course,
てん
the
ねん。
teacher didn't want to make an effort to read the works of his students. He just
い
took
や
them
問
all
題の
and
答えわからん
disapproved
から
them.
全部0
So
点
when
にしてんじゃない
player
よ。
gave him
苦
his
情来る
exam,
ぞ。
the teacher got really mad out of nowhere and made a really big scene about something irrelevant. When he was about to dismiss his work, the teacher saw the big snake
いやまた0
and
点
got
にしようと
really
してるし。
scared. If he didn't do his job as a teacher, he would get fired.
いやだから
On the
どうやっ
other
て
hand,
尻
he
尾で
would
出してんねん。
probably get smashed into
い
bits
や
by a
焦ってて
really
く
big
さ。
snake. So then, he decided to approve
こい
Player.
つ100点にしや
Player
がっ
was
た。
really happy about his new grades. He said thanks to his teacher, but little did
い
he
やまだ怒
know
ってる
the
し。
snake wanted more. It even made the teacher start bullying his other
完
students.
全に倫理
Very
的な。
quickly, the snake started to run things around the class. Everyone would obey it without hesitation. This is when I got really
だから
interested
汚
by
い
the
手。
snake. I would always watch over it. When things started to change and his grades were better
母は
than
めっちゃ
ever,
よ混んで
his
んな。
mom got really happy. That was a really happy time for player 2. The snake was
いや
smiling.
嬉しそう。
It knew it was all thanks to her. But suddenly, a
Ska
net caught the snake by surprise. Player was really happy with his life now, and his body and heart knew it. This is when he began to wonder about the snake's whereabouts. The boy started
いやめっ
looking
ちゃ
for
探
the
してんな。
snake, but he couldn't find it. He
切ったね
started to
君
get
の方が
worried
汚いわ。
because the snake was nowhere to be found. I
流され
knew
た。
what I was doing, but the snake was really scared because it didn't understand anything. I remember it was quite desperate at first. When the snake saw me, I
っていうか
introduced
またバン
myself
バンやってん
and
な。
started to explain what the plan required. The next step required something bigger, something even more powerful. But the snake didn't want to do it, so I didn't let her have a choice. I wanted to start my
ちょっと
evil
可愛い。
project. It was a tragedy for her, but the experiment stopped and her ears started growing. I have never seen something like that before. I thought that something might have went wrong while I was wondering what it could be. The snake was already in front of me, really angry. I decided to escape from the snake. When I was trying to explain that it wasn't my intention, she didn't want to
い
understand.
や結
She
局
was
バンバンじゃねえ
mad
か。
and furious.
壁にできとつけ
I
んの
was
ざま。
exhausted. She said that I didn't have any escape until that point. She was mad because I took her away from her precious friend. I was lost until you came around. And that's the story. At least we're safe,
I'm
right?
really angry with you, Bamban.
怒られてやんの。
Ruined the friendship. There you are. Oh no, she discovered this. Okay, Bamban, say
見つ
your
かって
last
つし。
Why
word.
do my projects always fail?
Why don't you come back
けど
home?
や
There's
ってん
cake on
ね
the。fridge.
That boy is Player.
Hey, I finally found you.
You are here because of me. I don't know what to say.
Talking about that. Whoa! Your ears are really interesting now. It
よかった
kinda
な。
looks good on
Do
you.
you really think so?
Of course I do. You're my best friend.
Okay, my work here is done. It was my best idea.
殴られてやんの。